Okay, so now let's get into some hip hop shit.
Yes.
Some music shit. So recently I've been working on a track. I'm not gonna talk about what the track name is or who I'm working with. But we've been working on a track and the person that I was working with, we were dealing with some creative differences. And it sparked this idea of, when you're creating, when are you taking influence from an artist? And then when are you biting from an artist? Mm-hmm. So I wrote notes down because I want to make sure I really go through this. But like, for example, I'll open up the discussion to you guys. When do you think somebody is biting from somebody, or when are they just taking influence from somebody?
Well, I think it's important to note that you're never really nothing's ever really 100% original now. You know what I mean? Like everything's a little bit inspired by something else, even if it's a vague inspiration, right? So, I don't know. It's a very it's a blurry line. But at the same time, if you recognize that you're inspired by somebody, the least you can do is shout that person out, or
be honest about it.
Just be honest about it. Exactly, right? The thing with that is when you're inspired by something and you kind of I hope they don't think I sound like that. I'm just not gonna mention it, right? That can come off slimy, So if you're inspired by somebody, just be yo, my role model, so and so, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Word. I'm on the same page as you, Alex.
For me, it's hard because you get to a point where a lot of people nowadays will just be taking just straight up taking beats and stuff like that, or taking flows. But you have to look at what are they contributing in it, and what is it popular for. So if it's popular, say a song is popular because of that Migos,
the flow, the Migos flow,
right? Yeah. Then what are you adding to that to make it different,
To make it your own.
Yes.
If you're not adding anything, then I think that at that point you're just
biting.
Yeah,
exactly.
But when there was that thing where Drake got in trouble for taking Triple X's flow or whatever.
But he's so known for doing that. Drake does that shit all the time. Drake does that shit all the time.
I think maybe because a lot of people, because he has the name, he's a household name now. So I think people just
well, especially back then, nobody knew who X was. He was just steal some random kid stuff.
Yeah, because he was in jail and stuff. He couldn't really promote his own stuff. So
you know what I mean.
The only thing that he contributed to that kind of music is that he kind of brought it to the forefront, where now the middle modern class.
I will say this though, yes. X's career probably benefited from Drake biting his style, and then the whole controversy afterwards. You know what I mean?
And that's what Drake does a lot of the times. When he does.
But is it right? I don't think so.
I'm not sure about that either.
Yeah. There's two sides of it. When Drake takes flows from somebody, or he'll usually take the song. He'll either take the whole song or do a remix to it. No, because he did that shit with Hotline. He literally did that shit with Hotline Bling and Dram. Big Baby Dram. He took the whole instrumental and made the whole thing out of it.
Hotline Bling was
that's the thing.
The biggest thing.
The biggest thing ever.
Also,
in Canada.
The thing that I really don't agree with is that you have to, if you're taking something from someone, if you're making it into something completely different to where it's your own, then that's fair game. But if you're taking something from someone and that it's something someone else made it, and it's basically the same thing except you are well known, you should give royalties to that other artist. He takes
exactly. Or at least give him credits,
Man, go out of your way as a big artist. You know what I mean? Go out of your way to contact these smaller guys and be yo, can I do this?
Yes, or hop on a remix with them and be yo, let's do this. You know, make a track together.
It's just I don't know, man. Yeah. Greediness is a fucking it's a bastard, So I don't want to share, man.
The thing that I kind of you touched on it. Everybody takes influence from somebody. Mm-hmm. If you look back at the greatest, Nas when he first started, the people say he sounded like Big Daddy Kane and Rakim. Mm-hmm. If you look back at Kendrick when his early tapes, he sounded like Lil Wayne. Mm. if you go back to like Big K.R.I.T, he sounded like UGK and Pimp C. So everybody, especially when they're first starting out, they end up most of the time sounding like somebody else.
Well, I think it's also a safety thing. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this sound is proven. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna stick with that. And then like J. Cole or Kendrick, they don't sound similar to what they started with.
Exactly.
They have their own unique styles now. You know?
Yeah, J. Cole sounded like Eminem when he first started.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't think it's a stripping of individuality when you point out those similarities. When you be like, oh, yo, I can clearly see that this guy took this influence from this person. Like, you can draw the line.
Yeah.
I don't think that's stripping anybody's individuality.
No.
I think it's just being honest about where the influence came from.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere though too, right? Like you can't just like, oh, like he's ripping off of this person. Like, well, at least he's doing it. Like,
At least he's doing something.
Like the person that's complaining most of the time is like wishing that they were doing it, you know.
Yeah.
So, I respect it more so when someone says someone else is biting. I respect it when it comes from inside of the hip hop community than like some random like web account.
It's the same thing. Like how many like just bring it to sports for a second. Like the analogy, right? Like you get like some guy on a couch sitting watching a game. And he's like, why didn't he catch the ball? I'm like, well, shit, man, it's not that fucking easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Why did he steal that flow? I don't know, man. He's trying to eat. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you don't know that person's story.
Exactly.
Right?
Or how they were influenced or what they were listening to growing up. And that could be just a part of that person's DNA at that point.
Yeah, there's just a lot of like a lot of hate like that. But I think the important criticisms from people that inside the community that know. You know, you can appreciate that. Like,
and it has to be criticism. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, trolling and stuff like that.
You can tell the difference between when somebody's trying to be like, yo, you gotta work on this, and then someone's just like, fuck you. Like, you can tell the difference from that. Yeah, so it definitely depends on the source and where it's coming from. So I'll be honest about that. But again, like, even if we look, you even touched on it. People sample records all the time. They take full samples and they make a whole song out of it.
Yeah.
And they won't even do anything crazy with the sample. They'll just like put some drums over it.
Yeah.
And be like, yo, this is a new song. So people do this shit all the time.
But it's the way that they cut the sample and then like put it in different places. It's like if you got a jigsaw puzzle and you made a new picture with it.
That's dope. But I'm saying like
that's kind of dope.
But if you go back to like, let's say Bad Boy, and you see like Juicy, or even if you go to fucking More Money, More Problems, Diddy would take those records and just put drums over them.
The thing is,
and those are some of the biggest records from Biggie.
But creatively, do you respect Diddy?
Yeah, yes.
I don't know if I do, because like he's already outed himself for not writing his lyrics.
Right, and people don't really take him seriously as an artist.
But the thing is, because like he's produced so many fire projects, people just give him like a pass.
The benefit of the doubt.
People just, not even a benefit of the doubt. Like everybody knows what's going on. They just give him a pass because they enjoy his music. You know what I mean? So
like even Drake, you know the whole thing that ties all these people together is that they have a good ear. Mm-hmm. So a lot of them can hear Dre, like P. Diddy, Drake. All these people can hear when something is like, oh, like
jamming.
Yeah,
it's like this jam.
This is the next thing.
People. Yes.
You know, like and then they hop on it. So that's
I think that's the best quality to have as a producer.
It's to have an ear to what's gonna make people move. And a lot of that comes from DJing. Yeah. So like for example, Dr. Dre, when he first started, he was a DJ.
Oh, okay.
So he knew what moved the crowd and what didn't. Yeah. Right? So that background kind of turned into when he started producing, now he knows what moves the crowd. Yeah. But even he would take like old P-Funk samples and just fucking, take hooks and take like complete concepts of the song and just make a new song out of it.
That's the cool thing.
But it was some dope shit, right?
It was dope, yeah. That's
so
the thing.
that's what I'm saying. So like the reason I bring this up is just because I want to make it clear, like when we're taking influence from people, it's not to be like we're biting. Mm-hmm. Like especially as an artist, when you're first creating, at least for me, like when I'm taking influence from an artist, I'm not just biting. It's like I'm clearly I'm trying out these things so then I can make it my own kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people do bite nowadays, and I think it's because there's just so much out there constantly that it's hard now because like
to decipher whether somebody's taking influence or whether they're just.
But it's
way
also
more
like
people in music.
It's just the shortcut, you know what I mean? The corner cutting to everything that like I feel like people nowadays are really embracing like cutting corners. You know what I mean? It's just easier to bite something.
Because I feel like there was a big, like, before, like, SoundCloud, Spotify, all these things happened, there used to be, like, a big gateway to music.
There's the gatekeepers. You got to go through radio. You had to go through all these different things, these media publications and all that shit.
And you have to be in the right cities.
Yes.
Yeah. Now you got like people on like TikTok or whatever. I was talking to him about it. Like they just like they lip sync to a song that's not even their song. It's just like some of the song, and they just like get money and like fame from that. It's like that blows my mind.
Okay, but hold up. If it's on YouTube, like, is it on YouTube?
It's on an app.
It's on an app.
From what I understand.
But how are people watching the videos that people record?
On the app, I think.
Oh, it's using the app?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
how do
like
people
an
get
app.
paid off that?
They plug their Instagrams and then they sell merch on Instagram.
Oh.
I feel like that's how it is. I'm not super educated on it because I don't be on TikTok.
Somehow, I don't know how, but TikTok gets somehow.
It's kind of like,
the
it's almost like
rights to this.
Snapchat, yo.
Because there's copyright and all
It's
that goes into it.
I think
But there's copyright that
TikTok
goes into
is
that.
literally like Vine now.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Oh, shit,
it's,
really?
like it used to be like Musically was kind of its own thing, but it was like you couldn't really take it anywhere. Like all you do is lip sync a song or a show or a movie, and then like that's it. There's nothing new you can do with that. But now it's like a video recording, kind of like quick, couple second. And I don't know a lot about it either because I don't have it, but like.
It's one of those apps where it's just like a little bit behind like our generation. I feel
I
feel like if you're 16 and 15,
old.
you're like
Getting
you're
old.
you're losing your mind. You're like, oh, I know everything about TikTok. These old guys don't know anything.
Yeah. I this is the first time I'm hearing about this shit.
There you go.
Yeah, but it definitely is a new thing now though, because there are actually new songs now that get popular off of TikTok.
Yeah. That's why like people like recognize that song, right?
Oh.
But if it's an old song and it's like been a song and everyone knows it, you're just like trying to profit off of someone else's music.
And that's whack because you're not even like, it's not like you're giving
adding
credit,
anything.
and it's not like.
All you're doing is getting a video of your face while the song is playing.
And
in the
just
background.
let
And
singing
that's what
to
it
it.
is, man. It's wild, man.
Not adding.
21st century is wild.
That's a trip.
That's a trip, man. It's a trip and a half.
Damn. So I want to ask you guys, where do you think, like, when somebody is making art, where do you think the difference comes from? And even not just in art, like, let's say when somebody's, like, for example, you study styles when you study, like, martial arts stuff, right?
So, like, for the audience that might not know, right? Like, I'm a fighter. That's, like, my main squeeze, right? And, like, you know, you're in the gym and you're trying different stuff or whatever, and you're just like, oh, I know a guy that's popular for doing this move. You know what I mean? And maybe you'll try to get good at it and apply it, right? Like, would you say you're biting that person's style? Maybe if you're trying to get popular off that thing and you're not giving credit, but like, I'm not sure. I mean,
would you be opposed to somebody? Okay, so here's my question: where does it become like? What is that point, that inception when somebody becomes different? Like, is it like an intuit thing? Like, is somebody born with that sort of difference, like that unique style?
Some people
or
are.
Is that
some
like,
people are. Just by their body type or the way they think, you know, like.
Or does it come from an intent to be different? To be like, I'm gonna make something different. I'm gonna do something different, and then it happens.
I think it's a body, man.
Or is it like an intuit thing? Like, you come with it.
You know how, like, I think it's just like the way your brain works. You know what I mean? I think some people just have their own unique thoughts, and I think that's the most important thing anybody can have is their brain, because your thoughts are unique. You know what I mean? Like, they might not be like good thoughts or useful thoughts or whatever, but they're unique, right? So you can actually like do something with that. So I don't know, like in fighting it's a little bit different, I feel. You know, I feel like if you do a technique or a move that somebody's known for, it's kind of like, you know, you can pay homage to that, and you can kind of like, there's a mutual respect there, right? In music, it's a little bit less.
I think we're looking at something that's more practical versus something that's like more artistic. Because
okay.
And I mean, fighting is artistic for sure.
No, yeah, for sure. I'm not saying it's not.
But I'm saying it still has to get the job done. You know what I mean? Like, you can look beautiful, but if you're losing all the time, that's just...
Yeah, that's getting hit in the face, but I look good while I'm getting hit in the face. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, you throw a jump, spinning kick, you tap the guy in the head, but it didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
That's just
then there's
the
no point
reality.
in it.
The reality of it is it didn't do nothing.
Yo, but that's the same with music. If if the music doesn't hit, like if it doesn't reach people, then it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it's true.
It matters to the artist, though.
It don't matter to the artist, but at the end of the day, the
day.
audience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if it doesn't hit or doesn't connect with the people, then it doesn't matter.
But how do you? The thing is, like, how do you judge that? Because like, if I'm going to a boxing, like if I'm boxing, right, and I'm going to a fight or something, my goal is to beat that person up to make sure that they don't.
Your goal is to disable that person.
Yeah, literally, right? But like, when I'm making music, my goal is to reach out to people. That's more of a theoretical, like, how do I do that? Like, versus like, you can break someone down.
In fighting, it's like you're always competing against the person in front of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like in art, it's about like trying to up yourself. You know what I mean? Like one up yourself. You know what I mean?
But I think is there like a self-expression side to both of it?
Oh, 1,000%.
So that's what I'm saying. So,
sure.
So then where does that difference come from? Again, to go back to the question. Is it like, is somebody born with that shit, or does somebody make the decision to make that own unique style?
I think.
When does somebody become like the Muhammad Ali, or when does somebody become the fucking Dre? Were they born into it, or is this after hours of trying styles? And
I think great individuals like Muhammad Ali, Dr. Dre, whoever it is, you know what I mean? Anybody that excels in their field, I think it's a little bit of luck, but it's also a little bit like that person was just meant to be great. You know what I mean? Like that person, no matter what field they were doing, you know what I mean? They'd be successful because they have that. It's like a mindset almost. It's that mentality, you know what I mean? Like Muhammad Ali could have gone to like med school, you know what I mean? And like he probably would have done really good because he's just like
think
has
so?
a successful mindset, you know what I mean? Like that's
the
how I feel.
mindset does matter, but I think some people are naturally inclined to do certain things.
Yeah.
Like there's some people that like there are some producers like Jay Dilla, just like you hear about like his childhood stories, and like you always see like him with like fucking headphones, like bumping shit. Like this guy breathes in music, right? Like because people will say like I'll get in a booth with him, and it's like
he just goes.
Amazing. Like I can't even like see what he's doing, like because he's doing like 50 different things, you know. So some people it's like. Just like they eat a bowl of cereal and they're making music, or like Muhammad Ali, like he just did that. You know?
I think it's also like passion.
Yeah,
like
passion.
I think a lot of people never really find their passion.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, but I feel like the few people that have that ability and they find their passion to apply it, I think that's how greatness is made. I think that's the recipe.
Like money kind of gets in the way of passion a lot. So
of course, yeah. Money does get in the way of passion, right?
Everyone needs to live. That's the reality of things.
That's deep.
Everybody's chasing the bag.
Hey, get that bag.
Yes. So I think in conclusion, I think it's natural to be influenced. By people.
I think it's healthy to be influenced by people too. Like I think that's like the beauty of music. You know what I mean? Like I can enjoy this and enjoy that.
Yes,
you know?
Absolutely, and being able to like appreciate where influences come from. Yeah. Like even when people sample records, I love going back and being like, oh, this is where this person got this from. Oh, and doing the digging and learning. I love that shit.
I think it adds meaning to the music.
Yes, I love that
because it's like listening to history almost.
Exactly. I love when people take influence from shit. Or be like they'll take a lyric, but they make it their own. It's got to be like you said. Yes. They got to make it their own. And at the end of the day, if it connects with people and it's unique, then I think that's the fucking goal. And that's what I think we gotta strive for as people who are creating art or creating music. It's got to be unique, but it's also got to you can see where the influences are coming from. Yeah. You can pay homage to that.
Yes.
I think also like what makes hip hop dope and separate from other genres is that it takes so much influence from so many different things. Like sometimes you'll be hearing classical shit, like jazz, funk, like any kind of rock music, like any acoustic guitar music.
Bro, I love that when you got guitar on like a good hip hop song.
Like that's why you see like a lot of like the old like kind of stuff. Like it gets repetitive, right? But here you're like taking something old and you're making something new out of it, so people have that familiarity, but it's different. So that's where you can like get out of that whole biting section and go into more of like an influence kind of thing.
Yes, and that's the key. Yeah, I gotta do that. What is good, Hiphoppas? It is Esteban Xound letting you know to check out hiphopcertified.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel for exclusive content. Are you certified?